27. Table Manners. The last rays of sunlight slanted across the gardens and into the shabby hall of the south wing. Captain Redred was only too glad to escape the house's cloying atmosphere. He checked the documents he was carrying and stepped into the transmat booth. He separated the official document of internment registration from the item requiring special carriage to the agency. Death days always brought out the worst in a place, but the summary edict he had delivered would only add to the gloom. Oddly, the rumours circulating the chapter house of an illegal birth at Lungbarrow seemed unheard of at the actual scene of the disgrace. Most of the family members he had encountered appeared almost improperly jovial. Only the cousin Glospin, acting in lieu of a housekeeper, too distressed to deal with official matters, gave the occasion the due weight it demanded. But even he had his own cards to play, and Redred found himself acting the messenger. At least his bribe was not an insult. A death day was a private occasion, when a house was left to its own grief. Worst luck, he would have to return to collect the cinerary urn containing the mind of the deceased. He sent the signal that would transmat him back to Pryden Chapter House. Something crackled, a flash and a shower of sparks. The light dimmed, and the booth clogged up with smoke. Redred wrenched back the door and got out. Cobwebs caught his face. He choked, his throat stung. The air outside was stifling. The shabby hall was suddenly completely dilapidated. Its windows had been boarded up. Instinctively, Redred accessed the chapter house on his wrist link. It hissed with empty static. He pulled off his helmet and coughed painfully. He heard a movement behind him. Something landed on his shoulder and yanked him round. He yelled as he looked up into the snout of a savage beast with yellow tusks like knives. The black cowl of the other puppet crumpled and fell apart, to reveal the figure of the Doctor, defiant amid its ruin. Glospin was slowly clapping. Well played, Wormhole. An illuminating performance. That's enough in front of our guests. Sathrope cracked down her cane. Proceed with service, she told the mountainous drudges. The Doctor returned to his place at the table. Chris had sunk back into his chair. I want to tell them, Doctor. I want them to know what I know. The Doctor shook his head. Get something to eat first. I'll tell you when. The headless drudge laid a huge platter on the table. On it sat the 4 fish that had come down the chimney. They were cooked whole, with the inevitable garnish of mushrooms. A sense of wonderment spread through the cousins. The second drudge placed a small bowl before Sathrope. Its contents were purple and slimy. The old woman scooped them up and swallowed them. Fish tongues, said the Doctor in answer to Dorothy's quizzical grimace. Traditional. The drudges served portions of the fish to the company and offered round the ciabatta bread. The cousins and Leela tucked in heartily. Dorothy and Chris poked at their helpings. As the glasses were filled with emerald-coloured wine, Rin said, Remember the ornamental hermit we had? The one that lived up in the grotto up the mountain? Yes, said the Doctor. I dismissed him, said Sathrope. He was too expensive and a bad influence. She regarded Dorothy graciously. The Doctor, as he wishes to be known, honours us with this gift of fish. It wasn't anything, said the Doctor. The family bestowed on him the finest education it could afford. It was always hoped he would achieve the rank of cardinal. Her tone hardened. Shamefully, he chose only to be what he is. A doctor of something or other. I cannot even remember. Certainly of nothing that could ever earn him a respectable living. Have you tried these skull caps? Said Awis, passing the plate of mushrooms. Dorothy didn't like the smell of them, but Leela reached for one. The doctor slapped her hand away and stood up. Living? What do any of you know about living? Most of you have hardly even stuck your noses off the family estate. The cousins stopped eating and stared. I've dined at the tables of alien emperors and languished in their dungeons. I've seen whole galaxies born in the fires of the Aurora Temporalis. I've saved lives and taken them too. Which of you has even heard of the frost fairs of Ice Ascar the Winter Star, or dreamt of the torches burning on the canals of Venice? The stunned silence was broken as Satralope dismissed the drudges. Has he been away? Asked Awis. Did he bring presents? I could never stomach that, said Rind with a look of distaste. Innocent stared silently into her supper. Home, said Jabisca. I want to stay at home. Leela helped herself to more bread. Is it true, said Satralope, while your own family were buried here in the misery you caused, you were away from Gallifrey, consorting and revelling with unworldly aliens? Of course he was, said Chris. Who do you think we are? The cousins gave a unified gasp of revulsion. Obscene, said the old woman. You threw me out, said the doctor. Where did you expect me to go? Monstrous. At least I can choose my friends, even when I can't stick my family. Dorothy squeezed his hand and stood up on her chair. Happy name day to you, she sang out loud, and looked to the other companions to follow. Happy name day to you, joined in Chris. Leela, her mouth full, tried to follow the words and clapped the rhythm. Happy name day, dear. They glanced at each other. Doctor, happy name day to you. They clapped him loudly. Thank you, the doctor said. Now, all I need is my TARDIS back. Innocent, will you help me? I cannot trust you, she said. Not any more. Satralope smiled triumphantly. No, Doctor, you will not be travelling again. I'm not bound by you. I was disinherited, remember? Wake Quences, and he'll confirm it. There were looks of silent dismay from the cousins. Impossible, declared the housekeeper. He cannot be woken, not until his will is recovered. The doctor rose and moved round to her chair. He planted a black data core on the table in front of her. There you are, Satralope. Quence's will, still sealed with the house crest. I found it where he left it. Now, wake him up. Shouts of "No!" from the cousins. She reached out and took the data core. What are they so afraid of? Whispered the doctor in her ear. Now you can restore the honour and respect of your beloved house. Glospin tried to push the doctor away. Take no notice of him. He's as much as a liar as he always was. Afraid I'll get the lot, Glospin? You'll get nothing. Really, said the doctor. That's not what Quence's ghost told me. Lies. Satralope clutched the data core tightly. Quence's is not dead. Oh, yes, he is, said the doctor. I murdered him. I came back especially. You ask Christopher Quedge. He's very perceptive about these things. Chris scrambled to his feet, but Jabisca suddenly gave a little scream. Across the floor of the hall lumbered a vast bear-like shape with curling horns. Badger! Exclaimed the doctor. Behind the Avatroid came an officer in scarlet uniform. He halted at the table, but did not salute. Captain Redred of the Prydonian Chapterhouse Guard. I was returning to the capital, but there is a fault with your house's transmat booth. Leela pulled the doctor aside. It's him, she mumbled, her mouth full again. He was trapped in the transmat booth. He's Andred's missing cousin. He was talking to Glospin, said Chris. On the death day. What? Said Dorothy. You mean he's been trapped there all the time? Correct, said Badger. Ahem, said the doctor. I released him, Badger added. Hello, said the doctor. We saw you in the mirrors, said Leela to the robot. I'm Leela, and this is Dorothy. I am Badger, said Badger. Chris shook his head. But if he still thinks he's 673 years ago... Ouch, said Dorothy. Someone else can tell him. Excuse me, said the doctor. Sorry to interrupt, but was this another of your dreams? I can't remember everything, said Chris. They talked about a delivery, and money changed hands. The doctor raised an eyebrow. Doing a little deal, were they? Be silent, shouted Satralope. Glospin had circled the table, smiling oleaginously. Captain, I suggest you wait in one of the antechambers. He started to manoeuvre Red away. Satralope smacked her cane on the table. What is the meaning of this? Red turned. Am I addressing the housekeeper? You are, Captain. Forgive me, madam. I am due at the capital. This is the one in the Transmat booth, she said to Glospin. Doctor, did you release him? I released him, said Badger. He was delivering the matricular transfer facility for Quince's mind, butted in Glospin. And the summary edict, said Red testily. Edict, said the doctor. The edict from the Chapter Council of Cardinals concerning the House of Lungbarrow, sir. An elderly cousin called Glospin took the delivery. But this is Glospin, the doctor said, innocently indicating his cousin. There was silence. It was definitely an old man, said Red. Glospin glanced at Satralope. An impostor? How can that have happened in our own house? The doctor was miming applause behind Red's back. Satralope smiled charmingly. All will be explained, Captain. Now, do you have a copy of this edict? Yes, madam. A security copy held on my wrist link. Please play it aloud to us. Red activated the device on his wrist and directed it into the centre of the hall. Immediately, an elderly man in red and orange cardinal's regalia shimmered into life. Lord Cardinal Lenadi, whispered the doctor, head, as was, of the Prydonian chapter. The House of Lungbarrow, began the cardinal, reading from a parchment, having wilfully transgressed the first article of generation, in that it did knowingly create a new life in excess of its statutory loom quota of 45 persons, without reference to or consultation with the Central Population Directory, has been found guilty. Awis, who had been picking at the food, started to slide under the table. The cardinal was frowning severely. Unless an appeal is lodged within 5 days, the aforementioned House of Lungbarrow and all its appurtenances will, under the ancient laws subscribed by the founding triumvirate of the new time, be excommunicated from the Matrix and the Prydonian chapter. Its name will no longer be known. He rolled up the parchment and slotted it into the eye of an antique skull, which was suddenly hovering before him. 5 days pending, said the skull with a grin. The transmission finished.